Well, that was unfortunately a little bit of a letdown. I just got done with the third and fourth episode of how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom, and this is my thoughts on it. See, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit let down with this, at least the third episode for sure of this series. The sad thing that came from it was that was a lot of buildup in the second episode. I was really excited on this concept that Kazuya was essentially calling out to the nation and saying, I want the best of the best. If you have a specialty that nobody else can beat you at, I want you to step forward. I'm going to reward you. We need the best of the best for this nation. Essentially the idea of, if you do anything great, come to me. It's like he was building this council. They obviously point out the idea that the council that he has around him is useless. They're not doing anything. The only person around him that's doing anything is Marx. And the rest of them are useless. And he's very blunt about this. Like, he has somebody come up and he just says, literally, yeah, they're useless. And like, you're technically talking about me, but that is the idea here. And I was really excited about this because my mind started racing on all this idea of having having this person that's like good at blacksmithing or something, and he's able to create new weapons for them. And so he's the one that they go to for anything having to do with blacksmithing and to improve their industry in that realm. And that's my excitement was. And the unfortunate thing is that it almost feels, I think there was some mention here and there that I ran into that this is kind of one of those unfortunate cases of things being cut for the sake of adaptation. But it really was apparent here. Like, when they had this meeting where suddenly here's the picks come in, it feels like Kazuya doesn't even know who these people are. He's learning about who they are as they're talking straight to them. Like, they're announcing each one of these people, and he's using his magic to read a book elsewhere to figure out who, what's this elven race about. And I really like that aspect, by the way. That was a really cool use of his ability to have this glove essentially read this book over here so he can get information as he's sitting on his throne. But it was unfortunate that essentially was telling in the idea that he doesn't know who these people are. It's not. It feels like he didn't pick these people, and yet it does through the way that he's talking imply that he does know certain people. Like, Pancho was a big one. Nobody understood why Pancho was there, but he obviously was waiting for this person. He knew who this person was, so it implies that he picked them, but yet he doesn't know anything about them. So it's like, which one is it? And if he wasn't the one that picked them, then why was it this list? Why choose these people? Now, obviously, in the fourth episode, you're getting a clear idea of what he's doing. He wants this Pancho guy to get different types of foods and then use this singer girl to essentially tell people about it, to be the face, this Jundoma, to basically be the face, this idol that's telling people about this food. She's the broadcaster. And that's the troubling thing, is it's like, where my frustration is that I'm let down by who they have in front of them. A singer, a bookworm, a glutton, a girl that could speak to animals, and a fighter. Which I think all of them are crucial. I mean, have a good fighter is probably good to train your soldiers. To have a intelligent man with you is to give you knowledge. That's perfectly fine. It makes sense to me. Yeah, a singer to encourage the people, I guess. A glutton to eat food. I guess. The assumption is the gluttonous knows about food. Not that he just eats a lot of food, but that he's knowledgeable. I don't think that you can say that you are... I like to eat food. I obviously, as you can tell, I probably should eat less food, but it doesn't mean I'm knowledgeable of food. I know jack squat about food. But I can walk up to this king and say that I eat a lot and that he's going to suddenly want me to choose foods and how to make them. I don't know, that's the logic there is a little bit missing for me, but I guess I was expecting more from this scene. Like, I was totally shooting for the idea of, okay, he's going to have a guy that's good at trading, so he's going to help improve their trade, their international trade, to help their people a little more there, have a blacksmith in to help with their crafting, to bring an alchemist in, a pharmacist or some sort of doctor. Why don't you bring a doctor in that would help your health within the country itself? There's a million things. A farmer? Why not bring a farmer in? You're obviously talking about the fact that you need to improve what you're cultivating. Why wouldn't you have a farmer? There was so much potential to have yes, it would probably be more, but at least show that you're trying to cover all your bases and not just focusing on well, we have a food issue, so let's just focus pretty much most of this group on food, and everything else gets put up. Now, granted, the fox girl is perfectly makes sense to me. Somebody that can talk to animals, that seems pretty huge. That seems like a very much a unique ability there. Do you need a glutton to tell you what's good food? You could have probably brought a chef or somebody in that has some knowledge of food. I don't know. I'm being nitpicky here. It's not as bad as it may sound like I'm making this out. It's just, like I said, it was disappointing. I wasn't mad about this episode. It was just disappointing. And it spent an entire episode to really kind of lay out these characters when I didn't necessarily think that it was necessary to do that. I did get a kick out of the fact that they basically... him essentially pointing out how to thin... the process of a thinning for a forest essentially creates a new part of his harem. But... And I do think the Fox Girl's cute. The song was beautiful. I like that they had her sing a song. I forget what the song was. It's a popular song. But moving on from there to the 4th episode, obviously we get a clearer picture about what this Fox Girl said that kind of shocked him and made him have to kind of, did anybody hear that? And that she actually spoke to a demon. She has the ability to speak to demons, and this is a huge thing for them. It does bring up the question. He does question the idea that technically nations before this all happened were at odds, and they're only unified right now because they have a greater threat. And so it is plausible in the idea that they could make allies with the demons and, essentially betray the rest of the humans, because they could essentially put themselves in a better place. It does pose the question that, is there technically a negative to allying with the demons? There could be a possibility there that would be a better option for them rather than just continuing to be under the thumb of the rest of the nations. And I do think that's a really clever move for them to make, and I think it's something they can really get into that's going to be fantastic if they do. And obviously they will, because they do have a waifu in the demon realm as well, so they have to get with them. It's a necessity to complete the harem. And then, like I said, pretty much the rest of the episodes are really kind of focused around them having a cooking show and talking about different foods, possibilities. They had this nice little moment where technically he does get emotional in the idea that something tastes similar to something from his world, which was something with like a soy sauce type flavor to it, which definitely made him a little emotional there. And it was cool to, earlier in I think the 3rd episode actually, they already kind of hitting on the idea that this could be his new home. He doesn't necessarily have anything to return home to. This is something that they got into with the 2nd episode, and Yuusha basically points out the idea of, well, I mean, if he doesn't have anybody to return home to him, he doesn't have family, doesn't have a girlfriend, maybe I should... essentially, she knows the nation needs him, and she does like him. And so she's already kind of contemplating the idea, well, maybe I should do something to to anchor him down, which I thought was great. She's already getting jealous, especially with this new singer that's now with them that he's kind of taking notice to. Was really sweet. I'm liking this move. Obviously, the Fox Girl ends up becoming adopted by the king and queen. They were talking about him getting with Yuusha and them having her adopted at that point, but that's not something they're ready for yet. So yeah, besides my misgivings of the 3rd episode and I guess technically me be disappointed in the idea that I wish that they would have done a lot more with that whole call out. It's still doing some good stuff. Still interested to see where it's going from here on out, but yeah, that's my thoughts so far on the Realist hero, Rebuilt the Kingdom. Hope you guys enjoyed my impressions. If you did, leave a like down below, comment. Let me know what you thought of the episodes. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all for watching, and y'all take care.